What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. Today's episode journey is being guided by none other than your host, Austin J, or hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community. And today's topic is a follow-up and question and answer on last week's episode, which was on mindset. Enjoy this episode, and thank you for tuning in. Wow, I said that one fast, I feel like. What's up, everybody? Austin J here, or hallucinodream. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, my lighting is a little weird, and yes, I am, I'm kneeling right now. My room is under construction again. I also want to admit that, I don't know why I'm out of breath, holy moly. I sprinted up like 3 flights of stairs, that's why. Wow. I want to admit that, the past couple of episodes, I was confused on why my volume seemed to be really high on my microphone. It is because my recording app for the podcast decided it wanted to take the microphone from my webcam. So this episode should have a little better quality. I'm surprised I didn't catch that 2 episodes ago, but that's okay. So today is a follow-up and question and answer. Today, we didn't get any questions. So if anybody has any questions for us in regards to mindset or anything that you've heard in the past, any of the past episodes, I think this month has a 5th week, which we just do a fun chit chat episode. We would love to answer those questions for any episode in that fun 5th week episode. So send them on in and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. And I'd say we as in we for sure. So I'm gonna follow up. I just want to brief over. I'm not gonna drag this episode out. The follow-up and question and answers definitely are more enjoyable when people ask questions. So please send some questions. Anyways, I want to talk about the importance. I want to just brief over the importance of mindset and what mindset means, right? So I think one thing that I mentioned was that I'm listening to audiobooks and reading books as well. And they touch on mindset and the importance of mindset. A lot of the health and wellness books do touch on mindset and the importance of it. I feel like I'm hearing fireworks in the background. So I'm sorry if you hear that, but that must be what that noise is. And the importance of mindset. And one thing that I've been hearing and as a recurring theme in these audiobooks that I'm listening to specifically is that if you think, and I guess there's studies. I'll have to find the links to them because I know the audiobooks still have the links, but there are studies that are showing that if you think you can do something or you think you cannot do something, you're correct. So in other words, I'll take myself as an example. I've been saying lately, I'm not a runner. I'm still out of breath. This is unbelievable. But I've been saying that I'm not a runner, even though I am. I don't classify myself as a runner because I don't particularly know how to set myself a running routine for specific goals because I haven't really done it, right? So because I haven't done it, until I do that, I just say, oh, I'm not a runner, when in reality, I am a runner. Now, why is that important? Because now that I'm listening to this, I'm changing what I'm saying to I am a runner and I am becoming a better runner. And just saying that changes basically the connotation, the outcome, how it's perceived, that particular statement. So my mind, how powerful this is being proven in studies that it affects the mind. Just hit my microphone. There's fireworks. It affects the mind exactly how it's said. So if I keep saying that I'm not a runner, my mind is going to think that I'm not a runner, which is going to really kind of like, I'm trying to word it exactly how they did, and I'm trying to word it the best that I can to be understood. If I say I'm not a runner, basically my mind thinks I'm not a runner, so I'm less likely to achieve a goal that I want to in regards to running, if that makes sense. Whereas if I say I am a runner and I'm becoming a better runner, I'm more likely to hit a goal. I'm more likely to set a running schedule and a running training regimen for myself, because now in my mind I am a runner and I'm getting better, which will boost motivation. I'm gonna have to get some links to this. One of the main books I'm listening to right now is Limitless by Jim Quick. I highly recommend that book if anybody would like to read that. It's not just on mindset, it's overall learning, unlocking the potential of your brain, energy, metabolism, everything. It's a great book. I really enjoy listening to it, and I chose to listen to that because I know what I'm saying here, but I have more time to listen to it, and I'm able to do that as opposed to reading. I'm reading several other books, including books for school, so it just makes sense to listen to it at the time. I will be purchasing the book as well because there's worksheets in there that I want to fill out. I've been using the resources, but getting off track a little bit, but I do want to recommend that book to anybody pursuing a health and wellness journey. I think books are very powerful tools to use and to learn new ways to help improve your overall health and wellness. So, and excuse me. So that's what I want to. I really want to hone in on the fact that your mindset and just your mindset and what you say really turns into what you believe, and so you really have to kind of watch what you're saying. And just me reading these books and listening to these audiobooks and listening to different podcasts and people speak through YouTube videos and all this, I'm becoming more and more aware of what I'm saying, and I'm trying not to have any negativity come out, which me saying I'm not a runner technically would be negative. A negative, kind of a limiting factor is what Jim Quick says in his book. I'm just limiting myself, and that's the point of the book, is to not do that, to become limitless. So, and I truly believe that. I think in the past, I'm not sure if I've said this on a podcast before. I believe that I have, but in the past, I've always told people that if you think that and you hear this a lot, I think, growing up as well. I've heard this from several other people without any kind of background information, but if you say you can't do something, you can't do it. And it's not because you aren't able to do it. It's because you're telling your mind you can't do it. So your mind thinks that you won't be able to do it. So really it's going to kind of create, your mind's going to create excuses for why you can't do it because you're telling yourself you can't do it, kind of deal here. And I think it's just so important to get past that, because that would be something that drives other emotions as well, such as, maybe depression. That could be a side effect from negative thoughts like that, or limiting thoughts, we'll say. Driving anxiety. Like maybe there's something that you want to do, you've been wanting to do for a long time, but you keep pushing it off. You keep saying, I'm not really, I don't have that kind of talent. I'm not able to do that, or it would take way too long. Well, it might take long, but what is way too long? Like if you really, truly aspire to do something and you really, truly have the desire to do whatever that, let's say, hobby is, what's too long, right? Because if you really want to do it, the path to doing that is kind of an enjoyable journey. So it's almost like it's kind of like not quote unquote work at that point, right? So you got to look at the outlook of things needs to be a little different to be able to push yourself forward. And I don't feel like that. I know for a fact this is exactly how I got to the point I'm in right now. I would have never started a health and wellness journey, and I wouldn't be where I am right now. I more than likely wouldn't have married my lovely wife, not because of my choices, but if I hadn't switched my mindset around. My mindset before I started my health and wellness journey was very poor. I had a negative outlook on absolutely everything, and I guarantee my wife probably wouldn't have, stuck around too long, because that's how negative I was. And I feel like I probably burned a lot of bridges back then. That's a story for another time. But I have to change my mindset around it, being more optimistic, and I still like I said, I have been saying up until recently that I'm not a runner, even though I've been running for the past couple of years, and I qualified for the Elite Wave and Spartan race, so I got to be somewhat of a runner, right? So now I'm changing that, and so I still fall into the habit sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay if you fall into the habit sometimes. If you fall back, that's not you know, what's the words I'm looking for? Like relapse, but or regression. It's just, you know, still working on breaking the habit, right? And eventually you'll get there. So, and don't take what I said about my past life and burning bridges and all this stuff. If you have those limiting thoughts, like I said, I'm not a runner, and I'm going to keep quoting that, by the way. If you have some of those limiting thoughts, doesn't mean that you're burning bridges or you're not going to get married. By the way, that is me putting myself. I'm explaining my situation. Okay. If you knew me in the past, which some of you might be listening, some of you might know, you're probably listening and be like, yeah, that's true. Actually, you were kind of you know, some select words back then. Anyways, so don't take that completely to heart, okay? Because I'm not saying that's what everybody or any of my listeners really are going to go through, okay? But what I want is to try to help people get past that and create better habits, to be more optimistic and to be less limiting of yourself, right? Just like that book is not telling me, but the book, you know, I'm reading, listening to, whatever, states, right? And I truly believe that actually will help progress to where you want to go, what you want to be, and really just open up different avenues for you if you are to open up yourself, basically. So mindset is just, I feel like I should talk about mindset every quarter of the year, at least on the minimum, because I feel mindset is one of the most important. Mindset and just lost my train of thought. Mindset is one of the most important aspects of health and wellness, because if your mindset is poor, it's going to be very hard for you to start and continue and maintain a health and wellness journey. And just like I said earlier, in my past, I was unable to do that because my mindset was so poor. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have any desire to remain or continue to go to the gym, because like, why am I going to the gym? That was what I was saying. Why am I going? I'm not benefiting. I didn't really know the benefits back then, but I felt like it was just, in my mind, it was doing more damage than good, because I was wasting time there. That's what I felt like. But you know, that was really purely mindset based, also lack of research, I would say. So, yeah, I'm not really going to drag this episode out too long. But if you have any questions on anything you heard today, if you have any comments, if you have anything to add, please, if you want to be a host, not a host, I'm going to take that back. You can't be a host. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, I have plenty of topics I'd like to talk about. I have plenty of slots open. I would love to have some guests on the podcast as well. If you're interested, reach out to us on one of our social media platforms. All of those, if you're watching on YouTube, are on the left. They're in the description if you're listening on the podcast platform. If you have a specific topic you would like to talk about as well, we can certainly add that in. I'd love to host you and have you as a guest on the podcast. If you have anything you would like to add to what you heard in this episode or any episodes in the past, I would like to talk about those and go over those in one of the 5th week episodes. So thank you all for coming back. For those who have, thank you for any of the new listeners. If you enjoy what you hear, please give us a good review on the podcast platforms and subscribe on YouTube if you can. My name is Austin J, or hallucinodream, and I hope to see everybody in next week's episode. Thank you.